is better on that. But still, nothing has really changed on that front. And before I even get to more on the union talk, here he openly tells on himself. I mean, he says that the Republican Party is the party of corporate evil and religious zealotry. He rather side with that over the Democratic Party, which he describes as the party of unions and trial lawyers. If you ask the vast majority of people, and he pretends here to care about the interests of the people, which is absurd. The idea that the wealthiest man on earth cares about what's best for people is crazy. But if you ask the vast majority of people, would you rather side with corporate evil and religious zealotry, or would you rather side with unions and trial lawyers? Even though people, I know, many don't like lawyers, I think they would side with unions and trial lawyers over corporate evil, which, by the way, includes many lawyers there as well, and religious zealotry. But not Elon Musk, because he cares about the people. Nope, not about his own self-interest, not about union busting, not about making more money for himself. No, he cares about the interests of the people. So he picks corporate evil and religious zealotry over unions and trial lawyers. On that point, he tries to paint this picture here that unions have so much power. It's out of control. They have so much power, even though his workplaces are not unionized. He is a well-known union buster. More on that in a minute. But in terms of union power, this is data from the Economic Policy Institute from the early 1900s to 2000 or 2019. Things have maybe upticked a tiny little bit because of places like Starbucks, many Starbucks locations, and one warehouse, Amazon warehouse unionizing. But still, union power is nowhere near where it was in the 1950s. So this is as union membership declines, income inequality increases. So you see here, as currently membership with unions very low, where does the income go? The top 10%. When unions have more power, that money, that wealth that is generated by the working class, more of it goes to the working class. Elon Musk tries to act like unions are way out of control. They have so much power. Who has power are people like him. This idea that, he's the victim here. The world's richest man, he's the victim, is just absolutely insane. Now, in terms of, this is well documented. In terms of Elon Musk's union busting, I've done many stories on this. Here's one example. Tesla found guilty of union busting. So I link to all my sources below the video, always on YouTube. But there's an example of that. Also, in terms of maybe why Elon Musk doesn't like lawyers, Tesla must pay $137 million to one black employee who sued for racial discrimination. Now, this figure has since been reduced to 15 million, which is apparently the maximum. The initial judge, I guess, got a little out of hand with the first ruling, but the maximum $15 million they have to now pay to a former employee who sued them over racial discrimination because of how horrible the conditions are there. And it isn't just one employee that faced this, but many employees. There are hundreds of complaints over multiple years about this. So California is now, this year they announced, suing Tesla over the same thing. To give you an example of how terrible it is there, the lawsuit says Tesla turned and continue to turn a blind eye to the years of complaints from black employees at the factory. For example, Tesla allegedly is slow to clean up racist graffiti, including ones with swastikas, KKK, the N-word, and other hate symbols that were drawn in common areas and on the factory machines. The lawsuit says one black worker saw hang N-word written next to an image of a noose in the bathroom of the break room. The same worker also saw all monkeys work outside and FN written on the walls of the break room. The writing and drawings allegedly remained for months. Discrimination against black employees was constant, the lawsuit says, and has been going on as early as 2012, the year after Tesla started production there. Black workers at Tesla complained that managers and supervisors constantly used the N-word and other racial slurs towards them and other black workers. And by the way, there's more. There's a lot more. So I will link to this as well, and you can search this up. Just search up racial discrimination, Tesla. You will see the disgusting details about this. I'm really just scratching the surface here. It is crazy. So maybe he doesn't like lawyers for this reason. Doesn't like unions because he's a union buster. I mean, this is all just obvious. He is corporate evil. So that's why he sides with the corporate evil party, because that's him. Now, he went online on Twitter after that announcement in that clip to, I guess, maybe try and change the narrative a little bit, as maybe he realized how bad it sounded on him to claim or to say that he is siding with corporate evil and religious zealotry over unions. So he came out to say, in the past, I voted Democrat because they were mostly the kindness party, but they have become the party of division and hate. So I can no longer support them and will vote Republican. Now watch their dirty tricks campaign against me unfold. Popcorn. Give me a break. Jesus Christ. What are you talking about? It's less than a week since the event in Buffalo that was inspired by the great replacement theory that is espoused by Republican lawmakers, at least some of them, and prominent conservative media like Tucker Carlson, the most watched cable news host. Yet, Democrats are the party of hate? Come on. This guy, the thing is, he knows he's full of shit, which is why I think there's an ulterior motive here. I don't know what it is, but I do think he's sort of gearing up for something. And he wants people in his corner that are going to blindly back him. And I'll get to more on that in a second here. But also, Republicans banning books on race, LGBTQ issues. So there's a lot of this. Conservatives have enacted about 1,600 book bans in school districts over the last 9 months, with Texas leading the way, report says. Yeah, the party of free speech. Burning books. The party of free speech. Can't read this, can't read that, don't learn things. Book bans often targeting race and LGBTQ titles were carried out in 26 states. The bans in school libraries and classrooms affect 1,145 unique book titles. The 713 bans in Texas account for nearly half of the 1,586 books banned nationwide. So yeah, the party of love, of knowledge, of free speech. Yeah, okay. Another one, just quickly. He also says, this is why I also think there's more to this. Political attacks on me will escalate dramatically in coming months. He is trying to get out of this Twitter deal, that is clear, without paying the $1 billion fine that he would have to pay to get out of it. So I'm sure that's part of what's going on here. Carl Boat here, who is a tech reporter, tweets out, I think super genius man baby got some bad news that hasn't been made public yet. So he's framing it as a purely partisan attack now, so his cult can more easily dismiss it when it drops. I think there is something to this. I could be wrong. Carl could be wrong. Let's blame him. But I do think there's something to this, because it seems really random to come out and say, I'm back in the GOP now, when you already kind of did that, at the end of last month. So I'm not really sure what's going on here. And then, I just made this point. In terms of Democratic lawmakers, they should now thank Elon Musk for a very easy way to push back on the idea that the Democratic Party is the choice of elites, as the world's richest man votes Republican. This is free advice. Use this. It's very easy to push back on this idea. Now, of course, both parties, at least leadership in both parties, serve wealthy interests. But if you are a lawmaker who actually cares about the working class, then you're going to be in the Democratic Party. And you may face, criticisms like, oh, Democrats are for elites, while the world's richest man votes Republican. I think that says everything.